Relations between Washington and Seoul have been tense after 300 South Koreans were detained last month in an immigration raid at Hyundai plant in the U.S. A $350 billion investment promised to the U.S. is at stake. Toni Waterman filed this report for CNA from Ellabelle, Georgia.
Well, big sellers here are the Nangshems.
Nearly half of the products on the shelves at this grocery store in Ellabelle, Georgia, are Asian, catering to a specific clientele. South Koreans working at the Hyundai mega plant down the road.
You have to have a good variety of dinner bags and lunch bowls.
Sammy Rent says he invested $500,000 to open the Viet Hung Oriental Market back in March. Around the same time, Hyundai officially opened its new state-of-the-art assembly plant.
I'd see a good 60 to 70 Koreans a day. They fill up a cart, maybe two, full of groceries for their family, and I'd see them maybe twice a week.
It was so busy, he considered expanding. But Sammy says sales have now ground to a halt after an immigration raid in September. More than 300 South Koreans detained.
It's not looking good if nothing changes.
You're going to have to close.
I am going to have to close.
How soon do you see that happening?
I'd say within the next 2 to 3 months.
The sprawling Hyundai campus is the largest investment in Georgia history, expected to create more than 8,500 direct jobs and tens of thousands of indirect jobs, jobs like the ones at Sammy's grocery store. But the ramifications from the raid are far-reaching.
The September 4th raid has not only strained diplomatic relations between Washington and Seoul, it could put a chill on future investment. During trade negotiations earlier this year, South Korea pledged to invest $350 billion in the U.S. in exchange for a lower tariff rate on products like this ice cream. South Korean officials say that investment package is now in limbo.
In the days following the raid, President Lee Jae-myung said companies may be reluctant to invest in the U.S.
그게 아마도 앞으로 대미 직접 투자에 상당히 큰 영향을 미칠 수가 있죠.
One big issue is visas. The U.S. lacks one suitable for specialized technicians on investment sites who are in the U.S. temporarily and paid by a foreign company.
I think it is a problem. There isn't a visa that was really designed for this purpose, even though we know it's international interest, we know it will create jobs. So we're seeing companies bend the rules.
Julia Gillette from the Migration Policy Institute says it's common practice for companies to bring workers in on the B-1 business visa or on the visa waiver program known as ESTA. As part of post-raid negotiations, South Korean officials say the U.S. will now allow workers on these short-term visas to build factories. In a statement to CNA, a White House spokesperson downplayed concerns that the raid could stall future investment, saying the administration will work with any company investing in the United States by slashing regulations and enabling companies to bring in technical experts.
The raid was a coordination problem, not a confidence problem.
Arias Dare from the Korea Economic Institute of America sees the raid as a blip on the investment radar.
These are long-term investments that are absolutely going to continue whether or not the immigration policies or the tariff policies change from Washington's perspective. The U.S. still has the demand, the U.S. still has the energy prices, the U.S. still has the liquid capital markets that make this country an extremely attractive investment proposition.
Instead of being deterred, Hyundai is still expanding in the U.S. CEO Jose Munoz announcing an additional $2.7 billion investment for the Ellabelle plant just 2 weeks after the raid.
We are reaffirming our commitment to the community and the region and to the future of mobility. Our investments in North America are not reactive. They are part of a long-term strategy.
Part of that strategy is to make more than 80% of the vehicles it sells in the U.S. domestically by the end of the decade, and to expand its U.S. supply chain. Both moves would help Hyundai avoid new trade tariffs, another point of tension between the countries.
You know, it's very possible that the raid actually gives South Korea a little bit more leverage in behind-the-scenes negotiations.
Whatever is ultimately agreed to is likely to be too little, too late for Sammy Rentz, who's already starting to close up shop. The silver lining may be for whomever comes after him, riding the coattails of billions of dollars in U.S. investment that even a shocking and embarrassing raid can't derail. For CNA, I'm Toni Waterman in Ellabelle, Georgia.